Yeah, I pressed the wrong button already. How are we? All right, so we are here. Jordyn and I have been chatting for a little bit already. He's been trying to spoil it for me already with a lot of information. I've had to tell him, mate, stop with the stories, all right, and the experiences. Yes, not. By the way, the chat might say, normally I'm late. I always say 8:15. I don't rock on the 8:25. I'm hopeless of time. I blame my dad for that. Hello, everyone in the chat. Everyone make sure you like the stream. Thank you, Harry. Good on you. Let's help. We got 20 people in here, 7 likes. Get the likes up. Everyone welcome Jordyn, the V60, the man himself. Now, Jordyn, nicknames. The Leadfoot Kid. I'll start you with that one. Where did that come from? I had to. It's a ripper nickname. I'm not taking the piss.
That's a good question, actually. I don't even really know the full
Turn it
story
up.
myself.
You know where it come from. You can say Dad gave
Wade,
it to you.
Wade.
Okay. Now, Wade is known for his awesome nickname, so that does not surprise me at all.
Yep. Wade or Gav or everyone was saying something straight away as soon as we come out. I think it was before we even started racing, actually. I think the name came out, so...
What? It was just everyone was throwing around like, oh, there's a Leadfoot Kid coming. Is that what you're saying?
We obviously had along with Wade and Gav and then a lot of the guys already. I mean, we've known them for years. Like, obviously, Dad's good friends with them from when he was racing. So, you know, it just came up. Like, I don't know. It's been too long. I don't even know the full story myself. It just came up.
It looks good on paper. It looks good on paper.
Oh, yeah, it does look good.
Let's also move into 5 non-Speedway questions, just to get to know who Jordyn charges away from Speedway. First off, I call this icebreaker. What's your favourite fast food, and what do you order?
Oh, can't go wrong with a zinger box, can't you? Really.
Oh, he's a zinger man. How good's that? All right. There's a lot of zinger mangs around here. Do you put the supercharged sauce on it? Wicked wings? No wicked wings?
I like the wicked wings. I like the tenders. Actually, I mean, whatever. Any chicken's
just
good
KFC,
to me.
fried chicken.
KFC, yeah. I actually supercharged sauce. Nah, not quite. I actually didn't like it.
Not the Leadfoot Kid isn't a hot kid. All right, I like it.
I don't know. It just didn't taste right. It didn't mix well with me.
All right. What type of music do you listen to? And do you have like a race day you get in a zone with a song?
I'm a weirdo like that, man. I don't really listen to music, which is weird. Look, if something's on the radio, I listen to it. Like all your standard hip hop songs that are out at the moment, you know, I'll just tolerate it. Obviously we get along with Adam Brand really well, and I do like his music.
Oh
he does a really. He's been a family friend for years, so obviously other than that, like if I was to listen to something, it'd be Adam Brand with country music, and I mean a lot of the country songs that I do like.
Country boy, that's all right.
I mean, I'm not just one person like with the music. Like it's just whatever's on. If it sounds good, I'll listen to it.
So you're saying you would be able to share your Spotify playlist? You wouldn't be offended by that?
Mate, I don't even have an account on Spotify.
Oh, here we go. So there's a bit something going on there. I get it. It's all right. You don't have to share it with us.
Definitely don't have Spotify. Well, I think I made an account, but I've never done anything with it. I just haven't had time. So
okay. As a kid, did you play any sport growing up, and do you still follow sport and have a favourite team?
The only thing I really played was soccer, actually. Couldn't get into footy. I don't know why. I don't really follow footy either. I actually enjoyed playing soccer as a kid, and actually basketball, even though I was not good at it because I'm such a short ass.
Yeah, but, I'm a short bloke too. Basketball, we don't mix, bro. Just stay away from it.
Yeah, it didn't work. I got one stage I was getting really good with shots, like 3-pointers and stuff like that, but...
So when you say footy, you're a Victorian, I'm assuming AFL. Yep. Okay. Just got to make sure I say footy, I say NRL.
Yep.
So who do you follow in AFL?
Technically the Bulldogs.
Western Bulldog, man. Okay. Yep. I'll take the Swannies, Sydney. I have to. I've got no choice. I don't care much about it, to be honest. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Box Hill.
Yep.
But I was raised mainly in Caroline Springs, Melton area. So basically from 4 years and above, I've been around this town. So
okay, so always where you are now is pretty much home. Yeah. Okay, sweet. And what is the closest speedway to you?
Avalon.
Ooh, Geelong.
40 something minutes away.
Nothing.
Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah. Great drive.
Now, I think everyone knows the answer to this. If you won the lotto tomorrow, what would be the first thing you bought?
Oh, new motor or something.
I was going to say, if this bloke doesn't say Speedway, I'll be very shocked.
Yeah,
he's not a race car
absolutely.
driver, but okay.
I'll buy a race team straight out so I can race full time.
Buy a race team?
Race. Yeah, buy a car, buy a full kit, buy a trailer, buy the lot. Just be able to fund it myself would be sick, and that'd be my goal. But yeah, I can't see myself winning.
I was going to say, like, if this guy doesn't say Speedway, we might have to put someone else in his race car because we all know he wants that. All right, then let's move into the stuff. I guess people want to know about the sport and yourself. Now, what got you into motorsport? Whether that is dirt racing, tar racing. A lot of people went from tar go-karts to dirt go-karts. Did you do that some type of that avenue?
I obviously started in junior quarter midgets. I had a practice session at like 4 years old. And then when I was 5, I started technically competing in a novice class. So it was just basically, find the ropes and just sort of get a feel of the car. Because when you're 5, there's not much, you struggle. Let's be real. Most really young kids driving a race car would be, probably hitting the wall and crashing, and I did my fair share of that. Don't get me wrong, but you sort of learn pretty quick on what to do and how to drive them. So obviously, went to that, and honestly, from that, raced from 5 to 16 years of age. Straight, that's all I did, and then went straight to a sprint car. So I went from
go on. Sorry,
I went from like 5 to 6 horsepower to 900. Real quick.
Just like this.
Yep.
So is that pretty much why you never really had a sport? You said you had soccer, but racing was always the sport. That was it. Your family, your dad and I'm assuming your mum are involved in. And
I was a typical kid like everyone else. When you go to school, you play with your mates, you do whatever everyone else does. So play video games, do this, do that. So I did all that, and I was really just a nerd. I was just playing video games non-stop when I was...
No one told you when you're going home and working on race cars.
I was real bad till I hit about 13 or 12 or 13, and then I was like, I got to really start focusing on something else. So Dad sort of gave me a kick up the ass and said, mate, if you don't start working on it, we're going to sell it. So I was like...
he worked out you knew what you're doing and you weren't doing enough. That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, I was wasn't doing much on it. I was just enjoying it, and but you got to grow up one day, and the effort that goes into these things is, it's next level in my eyes. Like, it's pretty crazy. So even though they're open wheel and there's hardly there's not many components, but you want everything to be the same, all your spares, all this and that. So
there's a lot of components when you say that. I don't think you could talk that down.
Nah, well, if you compare it to like a sedan or something,
really,
it's a lot more
basic.
Yeah.
Wow. So leading into that question about, you said you used to game. Do you still game a little bit? A lot of people know my page now is gaming.
Yeah.
What do you play?
A little bit. Look, obviously I got the simulator, which is next to me, which is I've spent a lot of time and effort on. I'll probably spend more time building it than anything.
Just games a little bit, but he's got a whole sim over there.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's nothing special.
Nothing special. So what are we playing? iRacing? What are we playing on that?
Yeah, obviously a lot of iRacing. I do a lot of Assetto Corsa. I really enjoy drifting. So if I'm not doing iRacing, I'm definitely, going sideways in another way. So
do you feel like in the off season, like in Australia, because it's such a big off season over the winter, do you use iRacing to keep a bit focused, or you don't really think it's the same?
Personally, there's been times where you feel like it's the same, but in my professional side of it, I don't consider it very realistic at the moment. Obviously, they're always working on it and updating it and trying to make it go good, but right at this point in time, I don't think it's close.
Ooh, okay.
It's like the driving side of it, when the car, you can spin out and stuff like that. Yeah. That's, any probably simulator, you got halfback back in the day and all that sort of stuff. It kind of replicated that quite well, but obviously the dynamic track sort of situation isn't perfect, doesn't take rubber, and it's been out for 4 to 5 years.
Wow, it doesn't take rubber, but it gets super slippery. Slick, yeah.
Yep, just
Okay.
slippery.
Okay.
Like Port Royal, basically. Well, at Port Royal, it seems to be realistic, but nah, it's not too bad. Like I do get on it just to try and sort of, I don't know, probably mentally feel like I'm, up to date, ready to go. But
Yep.
I mean, at this point in time, I don't think it really matters and helps you really.
Yeah, okay. With you saying you went from your quarter midget to a sprint car, now let's talk about that. You tried to ruin it for me and I had to stop you before.
Yeah, that's good.
Where was your first ever experience in a sprint car? And do you remember who helped you that day? What was the trip there like? And what colour was your car and everything? Were you still V60 at the time?
Well, I obviously didn't tell you the full story, but I actually there's a little bit of a secret behind that one. So I stepped foot in a sprint car and idled around a track at the age of 12.
Hey! Is that right?
We had a phone call from Matty Reid.
Yep.
Who's been a great supporter of my career. He's been my mentor through my whole racing career, from even when I was in quarter midgets. So I went from he rang me up one day. I was meant to be at school and I wasn't. I was obviously playing video games or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, come start the sprint car for me." So I was like, "All right, let's do it." And yeah, as soon as that happened, that was it. I'm like, "Yeah, I want one. Let's do it." and then the next week, Dad ended up buying the car. So,
really?
Yeah.
So what? He bought that car like your dad to use himself, or you guys? That was your first sprint car, and he's had it for all the years.
It was for me because prior to that experience, Dad used to race.
Yep.
He did it for about 3 years, and he had a pretty big wreck at Avalon, and pretty much after that, he sold it all up because he pretty much broke everything, including the motor. So, he's like, "Oh, can't be bothered now. We'll work on my side of racing," because I was obviously in quarter midgets at the time. So, and then I went. So from 12 years old, I had to go, and then I've been practicing all the way through till I hit 16 and 1 day old, and I went to what do you call it? Balboa Raceway, obviously in Sydney.
So you came to my old stomping ground. Now, when you said practicing, we're not going to get into that, but you obviously felt comfortable enough. It wasn't like your first time in the steering wheel. What was your first experience at Parramatta? I call it PCR still, Valvoline, Sydney, whatever. At Parramatta, do you remember the day, the weather, what the track felt like when you first went down? Now, obviously, no war. That would have been sketchy.
That was different.
Was it a big field? Like, what was the situation there?
Yeah, so I remember the weather was good. Obviously, it was a Saturday. I know that. It was the 10th of October, 2000. Don't quote me. 16. Yeah, 2016.
I think that's what you said. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, or 2000. No, actually, no, 2015.
Yeah.
I know, one of those years.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago for me. So, we went up there, and that experience was something different. Obviously, I think it was 72 cars that turned up to the event. I think this is when. No, I don't think USC was around that time, but it was a fair few good cars.
Big field, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we qualified. Oh, we were in the top 10 out of the whole field, so that was pretty cool. And I think we were 4th in our group, so we had a pretty good start of our night for the first ever race ever for us in a 410. We had the likes of Veal and McFadden and all that there, Brazier, Max Dumsney, the full lot. It was pretty crazy, and we bet some of those names that I just mentioned, so that was pretty cool. And then we obviously raced there, and then we actually ended up junking it that night though, which sucked, but it is what it is.
Parramatta will do it to you, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So let's then talk about your first year racing, 16 years old, first race at Parramatta. Obviously that would have led into your first ever Boxing Day, maybe. I don't know if you ever did Speed Week around that time. Did you do the Classic your first year?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
How was that experience as a 16-year-old? I think you were maybe 16, maybe turned 17 at the time. Oh, no, you were 16 in 1 day, so you were still 16.
Yeah,
being
16.
In one of the bigger fields than you've ever been in at Premier. Was that probably wasn't your first time at Premier, was it?
No, my first ever time at Premier, we quick time again.
Oh, turn it up. All right, this is where the lead foot bloke come from. All right, I get that now. Yeah. But just talk about your first Classic to now. Obviously, you have a mentality about what you need to do at the Classic.
Yeah, so obviously the first Classic we sucked. To put it in blatant terms.
Is it time trials? It just smacked you and it was all over?
No, we couldn't race. Like I had no racecraft at all, even at that stage. So, we really struggled against like any of the good cars. Or even anyone really. We weren't that great. And at the time, I was struggling with Warrnambool with just the speed, because obviously that's pretty fast track.
Very fast.
And basically from there we struggled all classic week. It was pretty much it was going to happen anyway. It's a tough field it was 100 and something cars again, 110 or something crazy.
Yeah.
There was no way in hell we were making the A. And obviously, we were in the E main or whatever it was. Started front row of the E main. I think it was started second. We transferred to the D, and that was it.
That was it. Hey, you transferred. That's all that matters. You move forward. Yeah, like when I've helped Brazies in the past with it's such a you can time well, but if you ain't passing those heat races, it's one of the hardest formats, and that's why it is those two in Australia. They're the hardest two races to win in Australia,
absolutely,
hands down, and that's why they deserve the biggest, I guess, prizes and the clout. I guess the number one on the tank or I'm the classic champ. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, let's move into your racing schedule now. Yeah, your last event you had at Avalon, you got a second. Now that was a rubber down A main.
Yep.
Before we move on to your racing schedule, while I got you here, what is your mindset when you know, all right, I'm out of 4, it's rubber down, I got to wait, no errors here, and I'm waiting for an error?
Yep.
Like, what is your mindset, and like, is it more nervous than, okay, I've got a track where I can pass? Like, what is it?
Obviously, for me, with the way I think about it, and I'm sure most people are probably similar anyway, but when you're on a rubber down 1-lane racetrack, the first thing comes to mind is that first corner you need to get into the groove, yeah? You got to be right there straight away. So, you try and get a good start and you can shut the door and stay in the rubber the whole way. So, I obviously knew from that moment, like, don't get off the rubber. It just doesn't work. I've tried it before where you try and make a pass and try and be spectacular, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, especially on like a flatter track as well, you really can't do anything with it. Like, you get no wing speed's huge. With obviously, if you had a bank track that's usually really fast, it takes rubber on the bottom, but you can really make something happen around the top. So Warrnambool's a prime example, which it can you can really race up the top, even if it takes rubber at the bottom. Like, it's obviously, it gets to a certain stage where it gets way too fast down the bottom, you got to get down there, but it's a lot more forgiving there. And then, like, for example, with Avalon especially, like, if as soon as it takes rubber, you just go there. Like,
yeah, I just got up on screen now the start of that Avalon race. I know it gets pulled back, but you exactly explained it what you had here. You've jumped from 4th, got straight inside the jock, straight to 3rd, and you had to really cut back down there, sort of like jock got in the back here. But that's just you going, I'm saving my butt here. Fari got it.
Definitely slipped up.
Yeah, Fari got the end of it. But
it was just full fuel load and stuff like that. So the car, you don't know how it reacts, and you're going in the first turn blind like anyone else. So
how? Speaking of fuel load, a lot of like probably genuine people that are watching never raced or work on cars. How long did it really take for you to learn? Okay, what can I do at certain tracks with fuel load? You don't? Is it every time it's completely different, or?
Majority of my racing career, I had not, like, you have a basic, obviously you need fuel in the car to go, so you always want to fill it up and make sure there's fuel in it, but
of course,
you definitely want to have a certain amount, like, you want to have a baseline type thing. So we have a heat race amount of fuel, and then your time trial heat race fuel is about the same to us, because that way the car is very similar for your heat race. Like, you really want, honestly, your time trial and your heat race is more important than your feature.
On fuel load, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying in general. So you treat it more important than a feature. So obviously for the feature, we're like, all right, just give it a bit extra just to make sure when we finish, we make weight. So or we don't want to run out because there might be heaps of those. Just simple stuff like that. We're always thinking about. So, but you definitely don't want to overfill it, because if you then it's just too much weight. You know, there's a lot of weight just in fuel. So
Well,
and it does change the car
you
drastically.
see that
So,
rubber down track, like odds on there's not going to be as many cautions unless people are literally driving into people. So you sort of can judge. But do you feel rubber down tracks take less fuel than a hooked up track, or?
Yeah, they definitely take less. You're not on the gas. Like that Avalon night, I don't even think I went above half throttle.
That's
the
insane.
whole feature.
That is insane.
Like, was just half quarter.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you're just waiting for an error in front, but you're not trying to make one. So, and that's the difference between like the big, like say if Avalon ever, or even say this. Like, we're not going to get into it. The state of Warrnambool right now isn't at its absolute best. You know what I mean? They're struggling with the track, and who knows what the Classic Australian title's going to be like. We could see a track like that, unfortunately. But, if you're at the front of the race, and we've seen Tate in that race do whatever he can to get back past Veely, Australian title, you're all going to do that. I don't care. You're all going to go, I'm going a bit on the infield. And if they pull me, they pull me.
Everyone's wanting to win, It's just it's the competitor's attitude, Like if you're not a real racer if you're not out there to win. Let's be real. Like even if you've let's say you might be new, right? So you're running out the back because it's just tough, But deep down you want to win a race,
You still want to get better. You still want to pass cars.
You want to a real racer wants to win. That's as simple as that. Like I always want to win. I've always wanted to win from day dot, but it's hard because you try and drive the car and you're learning the car and how it's going to react, and then it changes the next lap. And the next lap it's different again, and everything just changes. So it gets hard. But you always want to win, like every day of your life.
Now I saved your schedule here. Just let me get that up for me. I did just so I can. I've got a few points I wanted to point out, which I thought was really cool about your schedule. Now why I'm looking for this, you've had the month off. Was there a reason why you guys decided, okay, we're taking a month off heading into Boxing Day after Avalon? Or, was it just a thing you guys, life happened?
A few different things. Main thing is our motor situation. So the reality of everything is we haven't had an off season since last year. So the last season that we did was we picked and chose a lot of the 410 shows because we ended up getting 2 new motors from new. They were second hand, but refresh. They're only a few years old. So and from really reputable people. So they were basically both brand new. One had about 5 or 6 shows on it, so it's practically ready to go. Like really
prime,
ready to do a full season. So we had those 2 motors, but we obviously ran them all that last year, and then obviously we teamed up with Ken and Vanessa Hutchins, and we went straight from our last race with, I think it was one of an SRA rounds to the Easter Trail, and obviously from there we ended up going to Darwin and Toowoomba. So between that time period, we only had, I think it ended up working out to being only really a month or 2 months apart. So from there, we basically had no time to rebuild motors or nothing. So we are, like, even with our schedule at the moment, we're pushing the boundary big time. So we've got to be really careful.
I've got to my mate too, Strad. The schedule and the motor punishment is, let's just say they went to get one done and it was a 36-week wait. And they're like, what? So it's heavy time. It
takes a while. Obviously, our motors are through KRE and they do an awesome job, man.
Have you always been with KRE? Always done KRE?
Nah, relatively recent. I mean, we've always liked KRE race engines. Honestly, our budget we couldn't get one. It was too expensive. Like, they're good motors. I believe they're one of the best. They are one of the best in Australia. Obviously, they've helped us out. We brought a motor, and they've been really good with just giving us feedback and really trying to get us going with them. And like Kenny Mack, man, you can ring him whenever, and he'll just answer your questions, and you could be on the phone to him for hours, man. He's really good, and their whole team, the whole shop, it's as professional as you can possibly get. Obviously, they do a lot of the V8 supercar hold or the Camaros now motors. So, I mean, they're obviously very professional with what they do, and yeah, their workshop is immaculate. I
You've
could
been
eat
there?
off the floor. It's crazy. Yeah.
Did you go there
Yeah,
like
I
when you were
thought-
first like looking into really commuting? Is that was the thing?
It's like my first time was obviously when I went to Toowoomba because we ended up damaging a valve spring. So
yeah,
and he fixed it within 10 minutes.
that's insane, eh? And if you're in Victoria and you're sending it back and forth, yeah, it's awesome.
So obviously the car was there, so we ended up just taking it straight down to KRE, and yeah, he did an amazing job. And I mean, I was there all day, and we were
probably
just
in
talking
awe.
about
Like,
everything.
wow.
Yeah, man, it was like that. I was.
Did you get to see like all the dyno testing rooms and all that? Like,
yeah, I saw everything. I thought it
would
was
have been
it was
insane.
really sick.
Yeah.
Yep. Highlight of my life for
yeah,
sure.
there you go. So we've got your schedule here. Now, your next race is Murray Bridge Boxing Day. No, you just said you changed it to Avalon. You changed it to Avalon. Yeah. Why did you change it to Avalon? Just to stay near home? Is that the deal?
We're actually chasing the track championship.
Oh, there you go. Simple answer.
Because we got second. We've actually never chased any track championship in our life. So
well, that's pretty cool. Goal,
I thought it'd be pretty cool to do. Where we're in a good position, obviously, with second. So we'll just keep seeing how we go.
Did,
we might win it.
Is Tate going to Avalon?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
There you go. So it's on. I like it. I like it. See, start the rivalry. Good. Post it up, mate. Yeah. People want to see it.
I mean, yeah. There's obviously we always want to beat everyone.
Fun
so
that's it, mate. Mates.
But it's all fun. I mean, he's a good kid. You know, they're all good. Honestly, all the young guys are really good. They're very respectful and mature, and they drive really well and pretty fair, to be honest. Like, I've seen some kids that do quite crazy things, and I think they're very good on the track.
Yeah, so. I will say, like, as I've stepped away from helping a lot with a race team, watching a lot more now, it is starting to get more stacked of talent.
Yep.
And it's just really getting to the point where, as a fan, I mean, let's just say Speedway to me is my summer sport, and I believe there's a lot of people in Australia who love their NRL, AFL, don't have a sport but don't really know Speedway, and they're missing out because it's not publicised enough. And I hope over the next few years we can make that change, and guys like yourself can really get that just more fan support, TV support, because you guys put a lot into it for the people that are already fans, and like you said, it's tough to run a race team, and I hope we get that changed over the next few years. So now we're doing Avalon. Are you going to go to Murray Bridge though and finish Speed Week or no?
It all depends.
How the night goes.
Yeah, we're doing.
Because you're not doing Speed Week now. You're not doing Speed Week technically, point-wise.
Not.
Yeah,
we're doing the Victorian Speedway is what we call it. Yeah,
but you have to run. So does you still will run track championship points on the 30th at Avalon?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so you're definitely doing Avalon. You're doing Avalon, like Avalon. Okay.
We're doing Mount Gambier. So obviously the change was the 2 Murray Bridge shows. So the second one's in question. We don't know yet. And to be honest, we don't know fully how the weather's going to hold off with Avalon either. So, at the moment it looks like it might rain, but
really? Boo.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
We don't fully know.
Do your rain dance. Come on, charge.
Yeah, at this stage we're scheduled to do the Boxing Day at Avalon. And then obviously we probably won't make that Murray Bridge on that second night because it'd be pretty hard for us to do. And then
like you said, not necessary for the motor package. Like if you're chasing Avalon, it's just a hard.
It is tough.
Yeah.
We obviously took a few those shows out. Obviously, Avalon kind of adds one back. Mm-hmm. The only other thing we're going to try and do is Lismore on the way back. I've never been there, so it'd be cool to do, that track. And but same thing. It just depends on how we go.
I think you'd go well there. It's it's a flatter track. Different. I think you'd go well around Avalon type deal. I think you'd go pretty well there. Different clay though.
Simpson.
You go to ride Simpson. Yeah. I've never. You know what? I'm going to catch up on Simpson. I feel like, is it just become more relevant over the last few years?
Yeah, it's raced really well in my eyes for a quite a long time. There's been a few times where it's either taken rubber or got real rough, but it's generally been quite spot on. So, 2 lanes, slide jobs, and obviously turn 3 and 4 super tight, and it can be quite full on to try and pass in that corner. So. It's like you just turn it so hard left, and you throw the car in like you're racing a wingless or something. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, nice.
It's a different track. It's pretty cool.
Moving into your January schedule. So right now you've got Premier Speedway on the 1st. That's still on the books? Right. Obviously laps for the Classic. Can't hurt.
Yep.
Now you're going up to the Red Hot Summer Shootout. Now that
Yep.
is going to be an absolute stacked field.
Oh yeah.
What is your experience at Toowoomba like? Do you like the place? Have you had good or bad experience? What's your take
Yeah,
on
we
it?
obviously travelled there for the first time this year, and we went quite well actually. I think we're running top 5 every night. The first night we ended up clipping the infield or in the inside wall and put a hole in the tire, and unfortunately we had to pull in.
Yep.
I think I ran 3 laps with no left front, and I think we were still in the top 10 by
It's
the
all
end
right,
of it.
mate.
So it was
You
pretty.
can do this. All right, mate.
Yeah, it was different. That was my first time ever with no left front.
Yeah.
That was something different. It was way different to drive. Put it that way.
Especially when you go down
but-
like that. Oh shit.
Yeah, it just turns hard left.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, that night was our first night, and obviously, I think that's where we quick time straight away. So that was pretty cool. We didn't win our heat. We struggled in the heat. We just missed the setup a little bit, I think. And in the dash, we sort of got a little. We're getting there, but weren't quite at the speed we needed to be. And then by the feature, we were actually going pretty good. So, and then I just made a little mistake. I literally just brushed the infield wall. Like I must have been.
Yeah, that infield wall. Like from watching it, I've never been to Toowoomba. I haven't made the trip there, but where that inside wall looks rough. Like, it'll get you.
I pretty much remember that it was that light of a touch that I kind of didn't remember hitting it. Like it was just, I literally just grazed it.
Yeah.
It was.
But when you got out of the car, you're like,
how did I do that?
Yeah, exactly. So you said you're gonna fit in on the way back potentially between the 7th and 17th of January, maybe Lismore. That goes back to Avalon for the President's Cup. So Avalon, a lot of racing at your home track.
It's obviously, I think there's another edition with the 12th of Jan, which is that 10K to win race at Avalon, which is $1,000 to start. So we're obviously going to do that.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
And obviously we've been doing quite well at Avalon for the last few years, so we're going to try and win it. Obviously, it's going to be. I know it's going to be tough, but we always give it a crack.
I've been to Avalon once, and so when I first went to the Classic a few years back, flew into Avalon, stayed at my uncle's house, and it was straight to Avalon, like within half-hour landing. It was crazy. Like, I just flew in, went, and my brother goes, "Oh, it's Gravelon." I'm like, "Gravelon? What do you mean?" He goes, just like early in the night, you can get rocks thrown at you. I'm like, "Oh, righto, whatever." Yep. Sitting there, I think it was James McFadden too. It was like the night before the Classic or whatever. Yep. Rips his hot lap for time trial in, and my uncle goes, "Oh, in front of me," like this, right? And I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like I'm getting pumped. I'm sitting in turn 2, it is, and he looks, he's bleeding, just like a rock has smacked him in the head. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm here at Avalon. I know why it's called Gravelon. Let's move on." But very, very close in different racing. I was always a Parramatta dude, so seeing something like that so close, I thought it was the best thing ever. And then got in the Warrnambool, and that's another beast in itself. The speed there, like you said.
Pretty crazy.
Classic package. It's a massive field. Americans are there. What Americans have you raced against in the past? You've said Macedo. Who are the ones that you're going, wow, I'm actually racing against these guys that you've looked up to as American?
So obviously, even just this last year, we were racing with like Brad Sweet and all that. I don't know if you know the President's Cup. They were in the B main at Avalon, like all of them pretty much. And there was like the top. I can't remember who won the B main. But like it was like the top 3, all the Americans, or the top 4 Americans, and then it was me. Yeah, then it was me, and then a couple more Americans behind me. So I was just, it was just all Americans around me.
Yeah.
So that was like Brad Sweet and
did they have their like American paint schemes?
Obviously Sweet had his.
Yeah.
And obviously Carson was back in Dyson.
Oh, he's in Dyson.
And Cole was there. Cole Macedo who was driving
Cole.
for.
He was at Eastern Creek for a bit with his brother. They were there for a bit.
Yep.
So they were in the Tassie car, I think.
Yep. And there was a few other Americans there as well. I can't honestly remember at the point in time, but yeah. So that was pretty cool to race against them. I obviously got to see Kyle Larson race here. I never got the chance to be on track with him.
Where'd you see him race at, real quick? I seen him race at Parramatta.
Waterbury, the Classic, a couple of years ago. Yeah,
He must have been that year, or did he come just for the Classic? Because I know he came in the rocket car.
Yeah, come just for the Classic because he he was in Dyson's car as well.
Yeah, it was a different year then.
After that, and it was the one where he won the Chili Bowl.
Oh,
He comes straight from the Chili Bowl.
Yeah,
so
wide open.
that was pretty cool. Yeah. He
Um,
literally just got off the flight not long before he got to the track.
Yeah. So
Absolutely insane.
Classic Australian title. Now, a lot of people say, what race is better nowadays? Australian title Classic. Your opinion, what would it mean for the Jordyn Charge team to have number one on the team?
Yeah, that's a dream come true. Yeah, obviously both of those events that, I mean, you want to win. Not even about the money, but just the prestige. Obviously, you know, I got to race with the quarter midget, so we get to do the titles and stuff like that, and I pretty much won. I ended up winning pretty much everything when I was in the quarter midget division.
Yeah.
Because obviously I had so much experience and ended up doing the full apprenticeship basically.
Yeah,
from 5 to 16. So I had the opportunity to race all of it and did a lot of racing, and so I got to win the titles. So obviously from there, I definitely want to win the A1. That'd be a dream come true. I've never actually had an A1 on a car, so.
Ooh, so not even in your quarter midget?
The rules changed for us at that time. It was a bit of a grey area, unfortunately.
Well, you couldn't wear it. Like, if you won it, you couldn't wear it.
It was pretty much the Australian title, but it wasn't called the title because it was a junior division. Yeah, it was like a ruling changed from, I don't know if it was Speedway Australia or just in general from any form of junior division. But yeah, it was all changed and.
Yeah, well, that's not
and then
fun.
It changed back anyways.
It changed back after you won it, and it's like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, after I won it and left.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. I mean, the record book, but never had the moment. Yeah. Then, for finishing off the big summer period, you're going to Perth. Yep. Is that true? You're still going to Perth. Have you been to Perth before?
Never.
So you didn't go for the last year, the Australian title?
No.
What made your decision to go to Perth?
I've always wanted to go, man. I've always wanted to race everywhere I possibly can here at home and anywhere really. New Zealand, America, anywhere. I'd race anywhere.
I want to race sprint cars. Yeah,
that's right. So not even just sprint cars. I'd race anything with four wheels, mate. I can tell you that right now.
So this is your first time then participating in the Cricky Boys Shootout.
Yep.
Perth Motorplex is a beast of a thing. So have you actually ever been to Perth Motorplex?
No, never been.
So your first time seeing there, you're just going to see the big thing.
Yep, it's going to be experience.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome to watch you there because I always loved seeing people that have never been there and see if they have a go and rip it first go because that thing gets to the wall straight slick, wide open. So that'll be awesome to watch you do that. Well, that's a crazy schedule. Now, leading your schedule, who is helping you over this massive summer? Who does your race team consist of? Is it a family, or you got a lot of other people that come outside your family?
Yeah, obviously it's Ken and Vanessa. They gave me the opportunity to drive their car, so they've been doing a lot of work and making stuff happen. So obviously they're on board.
Yep.
I've got my family still, my family is still around. Yeah. Dad still helping out and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I got a good mate, John Brown. He's been helping us out these last few years. And that's been technically it. Gerard as well with Ken. He's been helping Kenny for the last few years when Matt was driving the car. He's been around as well. It's been a bit of a process. We're still trying to, everyone's got lives, so it's hard. You can't, not everyone can commit to the schedule we're doing. It's really tough.
Yeah.
So, it's been a bit of a, mix of crew at the moment, but who knows how it pan out. Obviously they've all helped and made it happen, so
of course,
without those guys we wouldn't have raced anywhere. It's it's really tough just to do it.
It takes a lot to get a race team moving, and especially a travelling race team, and then like you said, who can commit? They've got their own job, they've got their lives, can't come, and then some people fade away. I'm that experienced myself. I had to fade away. It's like, sorry, I just can't come.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, you know, you always got that support there. If you've been a part of a team, when you see someone have success and you're watching at home, you still get that ripper kick. So they're always going to be with you. Who, as a driver, growing up, did you have drivers you just went, I would love to drive their car one day, or I looked up to them as driver, Australia or Americans?
Yeah, when I was a kid, you know, you watch Steve Kinser, Donny Schatz, and all the American guys, you know, because that's what, you know, you get
World
to
of
see
Outlaws,
everywhere,
man,
you know.
the best, yeah.
World of Outlaws was always where it's at, you know, it's the
Yeah.
top of the line. So, you know, any of those drivers I was watching when I was a kid, you know, so, man, to me, like, the way I see it nowadays is, you know, I just want to beat them. You know, you just want to go out
100% agree
and
with
be
that.
better than them. So,
Yeah.
that's, you know,
It's hard to,
but
like you said, it's hard to look up to
trying
them.
to-
It's more like, I
I'm
want to
trying to put a
compete with
name-
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a name. Obviously, I idolize Matty Reid a lot. You know, I think he's a gun. He does a really good job with how he's raced his career, his whole life. He's been a budget racer, and he calls it himself, and he legitimately is a budget racer. So
Yeah.
and you know he can put it up to the big boys. So
Let's go,
so obviously
boys.
he's
Jay,
been
take a
one of the my mentor. So I idolize him. Obviously I remember watching Veal and McFadden when they were pretty much dominating everything, you know, watching them race each other and at the Classic and all that, and thinking, oh well, these guys are good, and you know, obviously we get to race against them now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's probably really it. Yeah, obviously, Donny Schatz and Steve Kinser. I mean, everyone's probably, you know, probably says the same thing.
Who's the king of the Outlaws? Is it still Steve? It's still Steve, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a tough one, man.
Hey, Donny's
I
a
know.
freak. Donny's still going, so you know, Donny's still going.
The way I see it, obviously, Donny still takes it up to these guys now, you know, and I think the competition level right now is
pretty up there.
is through the roof.
Very up there,
but
isn't it?
not just here, obviously over there is hard as well. Like it's crazy over there.
Like you said, there's like obviously a handful of guys, like let's say Outlaws last year, who could win the Outlaw series, but wherever they went, if it was like let's say Pennsylvania, they still had to compete with the Pennsylvania guys. They had to go to Cali, they had to perform against the California guys. Where if you could race in America and pick a series, would you pick World of Outlaws or High Limit right now?
Oh, that's a tough one, actually. Yeah. I honestly haven't really looked at either because I mean I'm not over there. So
not money wise or anything. Like not like would it be like just do you pick Outlaws because you go I'm an outlaw now, or I want to run High Limit? Like what would you do?
Oh, I don't know. Obviously something new's cool as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Outlaws is every kid's dream because that was what was around. You know, that's the national level, national series at the time.
Yeah.
So. Obviously, High Limit coming out now, which is I think it's a good thing. You know, I think the money side of it obviously needs to be improved, especially here. So, hopefully, that kind of helps everywhere with getting better funding to have really good racing and a lot more racing. But that's a really tough question. I guess I'd probably do the Outlaws first.
There we go. We got an answer. I thought you were going to give me an answer. You're beating around the bullshit, Jordyn.
I didn't know what to say, to be honest, mate. Yeah, probably do Outlaws.
Yeah.
You know, I like watching Gravel and stuff at the moment, talking about the Outlaws and, with his racing and stuff like that. They're doing 80 shows. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty, like, we talk about off-season, if that, like, why some of them don't come to Australia. Like, can you imagine, like, I know Brad Sweet's coming, but they only come for that, like, few days in Boxing Day and whatever, and then they have a holiday, or Rico's coming for that little period as well. But, like, their schedule's ridiculous. And you know why they come here, and they literally just sit in their car and go, I'm fast. Because, like, the laps and time on the track is ridiculous compared to most Australians.
Seat time's the most important thing.
You can't get it. You can only get it on the racetrack.
You can only do so much,
Yeah.
But... yeah, it's definitely really important, and that's especially the reason why these guys are so good.
Okay, Jordyn, now merch, mate. For people to come and see you, do you have more merch? Obviously, is it just you're gonna do? Are you doing the Fan Appreciation Day? They still do that? You're gonna have that going?
I sure am. Yeah,
nice.
I'd especially love to do it.
So you're just gonna have t-shirts, hoodies. What are we gonna do? Are you
Yeah, as
repping
you
a
say,
hoodie?
I've actually got my merch on at the moment, my hoodie. And then obviously, yeah, I got some shirts coming, so thought I'd kind of half unveil it today.
No, I
So
like it. You know what?
cool.
Like I said, I'm a big fiend. I love white race cars, so I'm all aboard. I'll be
Yeah,
getting the
beautiful.
Jordyn Charge shirt just because the car looks nice
Yeah.
and you're a good bloke. So.
Absolutely, mate. We'll make it happen. So
I like
obviously,
it.
they literally arrived today.
Look at
Did you
that.
not?
It's all timing.
So,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we will obviously be selling some merch. We got a fair bit of stuff coming.
Yep.
So yeah, it's we'll be selling at the track. Obviously, if anyone wants to DM us, we'll try and get people at the track first.
Of course.
And we'll see how it goes.
Best in, best
Obviously,
dress, baby.
we want to still try and have stuff for the classic and stuff like that. So, I mean, who knows how if we sell a lot or not? Is what it is. I mean, I've been trying to get merch for a while. I just wanted to do it with the right people
100%.
and get it out properly.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've struggled with merch over the
we've got
years.
a bloke here. Shut up and take my money for that shirt. So there you go, mate. People like it.
Beautiful. All right, so no worries.
You've done well then. You've the tick off the box. Okay, the shirt will sell.
Wait.
Okay, talking about your shirt and your car. Sponsors. Now, obviously, you got your main sponsor on board. Colours of your car. Let's just run through your sponsors and how they come about and who's your go-to. Yeah,
obviously, I've got a pretty big list of sponsors that have helped over like pretty much my whole racing career, really. Obviously, Super F Series Spares, they came on board a couple of years ago, and they came on in a big way these last 2 years. So they've probably they've been one of our major supporters in my racing career, with obviously getting us to the track. So, obviously, like Werribee Haval and Great Wall, which is Conrad Taylor, who's obviously good mates with my dad, as he works there and stuff like that. But they've helped us out with actual funding as well.
Yep.
Not just not just because they're...
It's not just a sticker on the car, it's doing something.
Yeah, they do help out. They've been a good family friend of ours for, many, many years. So, thanks to all of them. Obviously, we ended up picking up a sponsor this year with MarksCon, which is they're a construction company with obviously Ken and Vanessa Hutchins, who do a lot of balustrade work, or handrails and balustrade work. So, they've come on board in a big way as well, which has been really awesome. I've got obviously CountNet, which is one of our local friends who've come on board for a fair few years now actually as well, just chipping in to help us stay on the track. So KevTech Performance Race Parts, we got Compass Powder Coating and Metalworks. They've been around Speedway for a long time, so I mean I've known them for years, as well as obviously Kenny. So obviously we've teamed up. So we've teamed up all our sponsors just to obviously keep the car going on track. So, and I mean, everyone here that I've mentioned have been awesome with us. So they're really good friends of ours. They do really good work. So obviously, without these guys, we'd be nowhere. So obviously got Jackson Raps, who has done our design on our car, and he's been doing our signage for us. And he's because obviously signage is so expensive, man. It's crazy how hard it is to do that, and he's really helped us out with being able to afford to sign spare wings and spare stuff.
But mate, like you said, it's expensive, but mate, you've got like I said, one of the nicest looking cars out there. So
we try to. It's tough. I mean, if a lot of people have pretty crazy designs, and then it costs a lot more money, and then with all your spares and stuff like that, it gets harder and harder to do. So we got to keep it relatively basic, but it's got a pop. I do like it. It's obviously different being white. That's
mate, come on, white. It's old school. Bring it back. Bring the white race cars back, mate. They stand out at night time under the lights. Come on.
I'm a fan of the red, to be honest. That was my favourite, but the white.
Oh, we must have red bullet soon, mate. A full red machine. I like that. I like that.
Don't tempt me, mate.
don't tempt me. The white V60. Yeah. I did see you had a red car before, did you not?
Yeah, it was my first car. Was a red car.
There you go. So you've had red, green, yellow, white. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so I did look at the right photos. Okay, very good.
Yeah. So obviously got Will's Auto. I've got a few more sponsors.
Keep going.
So Will's Auto, who's Brett and Mika Williams, who, again, family friends, but they've helped us out from the start of my sprint car career. So they've been on board for a very long time, helping us with just, financial and also working on the car with us. Brett's helped us out at the track with just even working on the car or with motor. He's very switched on because he's a mechanic. He does a lot of burnout cars, stuff like that. He's really good at what he does. Being our race engine as well, which is sort of a he's in Melton as well, so we get to speak to him, and he helps us out with a few of our motors from the very start as well. And he's really good at what he does, as well as advanced magnetos. They do a really good job with helping us out with all that sort of stuff, which is that's part of being our race engine as well. It's Brett and John, so they're son and father duo there. So shout out to those guys. And obviously we've got like Slade Shock Technology, both in Australia, and obviously Eric Slade from the States. We've been in contact with them for the whole time that I've been racing with Kenny, and I know Ken's been speaking to him for ages, so it's cool to grow that partnership with them. So I mean, they've been awesome with us. Like Glenn Beaton from obviously down here has been doing an awesome job with our shocks. He's been dynoing them at the track and fixing them up in.
It's
like,
crazy. Do you guys
2
have in
hours.
your race truck like the shock dyno in your truck?
No, we don't have a shock dyno.
Some
on the truck
guys
yet,
do.
mate.
You go in some of the guys' trailers and you're like, bro, this is a workshop. Like, what? This is NASA in here. Like, what is going on? It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in some of these trailers,
bro.
man.
And they're not even like that big of haulers. It's like you just walk in, you're like, bro, oh, yeah, we can do dynos there. We can do air for the engines over there. Yeah. Full roll car up there. You're like, how do you fit a roller up there? You're like, oh yeah, you got a roller up there.
Yep. So obviously, we also gained a new sponsor this year as well, which was King's Infrastructure. They came on board this year, and they've been awesome for us. And we're keen to see how it all goes with those guys and all the other sponsors that have helped out. And it's a pretty big list.
No,
but,
mate. Look, keep it going. They're helping support Speedway and yourself, so they deserve the credit, mate.
They all deserve the credit, and I've had sponsors in the past that have helped us out as well, and even to all those guys, man. My list would be huge. Like every little bit helps. So thanks to everyone that's supported us. It's been it's an unreal journey. We're getting better and better, which is cool, and get to travel now, which has been really awesome. So it's been a dream come true so far. So I'm keen to see how it goes. Further down the track. That's
now I know you went to Darwin just you gone. Is that on the books again, or is there a state trip on there? Right?
I definitely love to come back to Darwin. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't technically talked about it too much at this stage.
Yep.
Obviously, we've with how we're going with motors and stuff at the moment, we're just we're going to get through this Speedway sort of till February and see how we go. So, and then after that, we actually really haven't talked too much.
Have you? Is there ever going to be a trip to the States for Jordyn Charge?
Maybe.
Ooh, I like that.
We'll try.
Try and get there. Hey, mate, you want the laps over there?
That's been talked about for many years, all right?
Of course,
I'd love to go to the States.
Well, let's try wrap up with. There's some boys in the chat. We've got some questions, and if they want to roll some through, had a question earlier, just a simple one from Blake Durson. What are your long-term goals in sprint car racing?
So obviously, as I said, with the word of Outlaws or High Limit, obviously the States to me is where it's at. You see a lot of the drivers sort of make a living off it, and a lot of them make a comfortable living. So that'd be pretty cool to do. Obviously, it's a tough gig, man. It's crazy hard. There's a lot of sponsorship involved, and all that sort of side of it. If you don't sort of promote yourself well, you're not going to get anywhere. So it's a tough gig. I like to do that. Obviously, I'd like to be very competitive down, here at home, which we're trying to work on, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. So we'll just see how that all goes.
I definitely think, like you said, you're focused on. All right, we haven't chased the series. we want Avalon Track Championship. I think, that'll be awesome. And that competitiveness of, okay, we need top 5, we need top 3. It's different style racing and just, we're no good tonight, 12. No good tonight, pack her up. B main, every lap counts. Another question for Declan. Who made your shirt? Who'd you get to do your shirts?
Good old Ryan Harris from Cush Clothing, obviously, as you can see.
Nice. Okay.
I'm a proud supporter of those guys, and I definitely wear all their stuff. It's really, really good, comfortable stuff. Obviously, wearing the jumper right now, it's actually very comfortable.
So all your merch went through Cush Clothing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you got it through Cush Clothing.
Now, have you and Cush Clothing had like a deal for a while, or you just like had a little bit of a relationship, partnership type deal? Or?
Yeah, we've had a little partnership, so obviously shout out to them as well, Cush Clothing. They've helped us out with, they send me a lot of free merch stuff. So
okay, yeah,
just
cool.
To,
of course.
I want to promote them as much as I can as well, because obviously later on in the track I'd like to do stuff, which we finally started to do. So
that's mad.
And it's I'm so happy that we've gone through them. Obviously this is our first sort of merch that I've kind of started myself,
like a longer, bigger series of merch. It's like hey, we have merch now. Come and get
correct.
it.
We got hoodies again. Obviously, I did it when I first started, and it did okay. But it was very tough when I first did it. It was hard to sort of maintain, and it kind of didn't work out too well at the end there.
Even me, I got stuff for mine, and you can put yourself in a hole real quick. And you're like, holy shit, I got these shirts.
Well, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's quite expensive to do, and you got to fork out a few K.
A Sprintcar level driver, yes, of course. I know some numbers I've heard, and it's like,
yeah, it's not cheap whatsoever.
Everyone wants a freebie. Everyone wants a freebie, eh? Oh, chuck us a shirt, bro.
Yeah,
chuck us a shirt.
I feel awful because obviously every time someone asks me, it's been like 3 years since I've had merch, man, or 4 years now. I think it's been a really long time since I've had new merch. So I was like, we need to do something.
Jordyn,
I want to get.
I have a question here, and I think you need to get onto your Webby. We're not talking about.
Yep.
Can I order a jumper and to be sent to England? There you go, brother. I've got some England followers. I've got some England and I've got some South African followers that got some weird Speedway over there, bro. But they're involved in everything. They watch. So
obviously if you can message the Facebook page at Jordyn Charge Racing. Obviously we'll get to everyone's needs there. That's the easiest way for us to sort of keep in touch and keep up to date with everything. So
there you go, Charlie. Hit him up on Jordyn Charge Racing on Facebook. It's on the screen. It will come across. Get yourself the jumper because England rains every day, so we need the jumper. Another question we got here. Will Jordyn from some people have some funny YouTube names. Australian Dirt Racing fan. Will Jordyn go to the King's Challenge? We did talk about this. Yes, you're going to be at the King's Challenge, correct?
I have nominated for it. It was sort of talked about missing just due to the engine side of it and time and effort.
Yes.
Because that's after a big massive week. But I'm going to push on because I want to commit to it, and I think I need to. So I've made a few sacrifices already, which sucks. That I want to get to Murray Bridge. I've been there once and. I think we could be fast there, but we just had no luck. So I need to get back up there and try and get some redemption. So obviously, we just can't do everything at this point in time. Who knows what happens later on, and anything can change between now and then, man. Who knows? Someone might say, "Oh, let me drive the race car."
Exactly, like Jordyn, come have a ride at Murray Bridge. Exactly, and like you said, you are focusing on your engine package. Yeah. You even going to Perth, which is a massive engine package over there, and you're focusing on Avalon Track Championship. So that's where your main goals are. Now, if you are looking for sponsorship, there's a question here. Now, I'm not going to read. I know this guy personally. I'm not going to read his ridiculous YouTube name out. Is he looking for sponsors, and how do people get in help with sponsorship, or how do people help with sponsorship? Like, how do they get involved? Is it contact Jordyn Charge Racing?
Yeah. Contact either the Facebook page or the emails. Jordyn.charge.racing.
That's on your Facebook. Yes, that's on your Facebook.
It should be.
Okay.
Look, I'm not very tech savvy with that sort of side of it, so it should be up there, but it might not be. But otherwise it is, jordan.charge.racing@gmail.com. It's pretty much the Facebook page, but with the dots and at Gmail. So just email that, and I'll definitely get back to you, and we can definitely get in contact if someone wants to sponsor. Absolutely.
Sweet. This one's from Azza Parson. Would you chase World Series if it started again?
Well, to be honest, that was the original plan.
Oh, come on! Speedway Australia and everyone, get your crap together. We want World Series back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so that was the series. That was the idea.
Chasing a series. Obviously, I've done SRA in the past. I've done the All Stars with 360. I've done a few of the championships. Obviously, I didn't get to win any, which sucked. I've been on the podium for both of them.
Yeah.
But I always want to do World Series as well. I mean, that was a pretty cool thing when it was here. Obviously, it was meant to happen this year, and it never did, which sucked. We were on the list for it. We were definitely going to be a contracted driver. Because that was what we were going to commit to. At least we had a commitment we could have done. And then everything changed, and it made it 10 times harder. So,
well, when you commit to something like that, you then can focus on engine package, this package, where I need to go, traveling, how it is.
We had a plan of attack, because obviously if you think about our schedule, it's actually the World Series schedule. But we obviously changed Murray Bridge for Avalon and changed a few little bits and pieces here.
Oh, yeah, you're going to Perth, so it is very similar, you're right. Yeah, it's like that period where it goes classic title, Perth.
I believe Toowoomba was like that 3-day thing was also technically World Series as well. So it was basically the World Series calendar anyway. But obviously we wanted to chase. We kind of felt like we need to have some sort of return in a way. If we could get the Avalon Track Championship, it would help us out.
Yeah.
With some funding and stuff like that.
Mentality too, like you said, you need your want, you need your drive, just showing up at random races with but like you said, a series ticking over, making maneuvers and all that stuff. I agree with that. That's awesome. Where is this one? I've got another one here. Would you ever make 160? I always get my fraction wrong. Would you make diecast models of Jordyn Charge car?
Mate, I'd love to. And
little ones. I think he said little ones. I think they're little ones. Are they 160?
Yeah, 160.
Yeah, those
16. Yeah, I think the little ones.
I wasn't good at maths. Just little one or big ones. That's what I say.
I don't know if anyone wants to do them with me, then send us a message.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we did a couple of stuff for sponsors.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, made them a nice thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Larger sizes. Like the, I think they're 1/8 or something like that. 1/16. Sorry, 1/16. I think it is.
Probably that one.
Yeah. So sizes like that, and we sent them all to all our sponsors. And I can tell you right now, that wasn't cheap. So it's tough, man. Everything's so expensive to do, and we got to try and pay for a race car at the same time. So that's been hard. That's been the issue with our merch side of it too. We had to put money, especially when it was just me and our family deal. It was if I was putting money into merch, I couldn't do another race or something. So,
you want to race over buying making t-shirts. I 100% agree with that.
And to be honest, as I said, we had just no luck with our first sort of set of merch that we had. People brought them and stuff like that, but it just the orders ended up messing up and stuff like that. It just all went.
Sort of deflates you on doing it. You don't want to waste that energy. I get that. I had that with one of my first things too. I had that with one of my first things, and I literally didn't do anything for 2 years. I was like, not putting money in again.
Yeah. Obviously, hopefully, we sell all of it, and we'll be happy.
Yeah. Now I've got something here from YT Yucks. Jordyn, can I make a free sprint car model and send it your brother Cody a pic? Is your brother's name really Cody?
Cody, yeah.
What a legend.
Brother.
What a name, mate. Good, tell him what a name.
I wonder why.
Cody, good on you, ledge. Double C, the charge. Cody Charge. That's got a ring to it.
He'll have to get in a sprint car one day himself, I reckon.
Well, I know another Cody that could, but it's all right. Another question here would be, actually, Azza, I didn't even say, would you let Code Man cut some laps in your car? I can just do the idle system like you did, like when you were 12. That'd be pretty cool.
Unfortunately, it's not my car, mate. I can't really give you an answer on that one. I know that's probably the cliche answer everyone asks, but yeah.
Responsible answer, Jordyn. Very good.
Yeah. So I think it's. I've done a sponsor day before. Well, obviously, my whole family did.
What, where you
sponsor day
put
where
full people can have a go in your sprint car?
Yeah, we had a few sponsors have a go, and a few our crew members had a go. To obviously give a thanks back to helping us work on the car and fund it. So it's been and they all loved it. So and it wasn't anything too full on. It was a day event. So it was the least that we could do. Like we'd love to do more stuff for to show our appreciation. And that's why I've done a bit more with our social media and stuff like that. So I know that I needed to step up. So that's exactly what we've done. So
I have a question for you. Would you ever consider of doing if the opportunity come up, giving the chili bowl a crack in a midget? Have you ever roasted a speed car or any? Have you ever roasted something like that in a speed car?
Not, and I'm definitely open to driving one. I met some great people when I was in Darwin, the Garland family. And they are obviously they've got rides in the States. They own I think they've got 4 cars. Yeah. They got so obviously John Murdy and all that went over there with them, and we ended up getting a really good relationship with those guys. They're awesome and they're so funny. Obviously the accent and all that was pretty cool for me.
Whereabouts are they from in the States?
Good question, man. You put me on the spot.
Because some of their accents, if you know the States, are pretty out there.
Pretty full on. Yeah. It's pretty full on. That's a good question. I should have probably looked at that.
Come on, charge you, mate. Get it together, mate. You're trying to drive the speed car and you don't even know where they're from, mate. What's going on?
You put me on the spot.
Okay.
I know I saw it and now I can't remember. You know how many states there are, mate?
Yeah, there's 52, I think. So.
How many things I've got to think about at once, right?
Yes.
But yeah, obviously I'd love to do something like that. With anyone really. But it's just got to sort of work out.
Right time. Right place, right time.
That's it. That's what it's all about. So.
Now I don't even know what type of racing they exactly do over there. Charlie says, would you race in England?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends. Like I can't afford to fly, there or car there or anything. But yeah, if anything ever came, someone approached us and we could make something happen. Absolutely.
You said
I race anyway.
With 4 wheels. Did you say anything with 4 wheels?
Yeah, anything with 4 wheels, mate.
There you go, Charlie.
I'm not very good on 2 wheels. That's why I don't mention it.
Yeah, no motorbike action.
I don't. I'll kill myself.
Blake Durst again. Who is one driver that you always want to beat on the track?
Oh, cliche answer. Everybody, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
He's trying to be nice to you guys. It's all right. But I'm going to say for him, we need him to beat Tate Frost for the Avalon Track Championship. All right, guys? He's leading right now.
Absolutely, yep.
All right.
Yeah, got to beat Tate, Jock, all the young kids, I'm technically, in theory, more experienced than them. I've been racing for longer than most of them, so I should be beating them. But, obviously, even like Veal and McFadden and all that, I've grown up watching them. I want to beat them.
You always want to give it to them. 100%.
Yeah. And you see, when all the Americans come, you want to, you want to be in front. You don't want to be behind them. You want to be in front.
Jordyn, yes, he will be at the 51st annual Sprintcar Classic. So if you need or want anything from the merch or even give him a gift, like you said, he will be there. Thanks, Blake, for dropping his email in the chat. If there's no more questions, we'll pretty much wrap it up. We've had his time for it's been about an hour and a bit, so I appreciate Jordyn's time. Is there any... Oh, there we go. He said, rate this interview out of 10. How did I go, Jordyn?
I don't know, mate. It's my first sort of live thing, so I don't know. I'm just winging it. Hey.
That's all right. I know, he's saying rate this, asking how did I do?
Oh, you did great, mate. What are you talking about? Yeah, great. Perfect.
Didn't give an answer, so that means it's a 1 out of 10, but he said great. We'll take that. We'll take it.
It's great. Don't even stress, mate.
Take it with what it is.
You've done better than me, I'm telling you that right now.
Turn it up. Turn it up. If there's no more questions, we'll end it there. I think that's where we'll end it. Appreciate your time, Jordyn. Good luck for the crazy schedule, World Series type schedule you're running. I'm hoping to catch up with you at Premiere. I'm going to be there for the 10 days. Link up, make some stupid content or something together. Even go grab a beer or something, mate. It'd be awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah, no worries, mate. Hope to see you there then.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys. I'm not gonna stream tonight. I got to get up for work early tomorrow, so I might jump on and play some PlayStation reviews, but I'm not streaming stuff like that. All right then, guys. I'll see you on the PlayStation if I jump on. And thank you to Jordyn for your time, brother. Awesome.
No worries. Thanks for having me.